July 26th, 2023. Just after sunrise, a 45-story tower crane in Hell's Kitchen lifts 16 tons of concrete as routine as any other morning, until the operator sees smoke rising from the engine deck. Seconds later, flames ignite hydraulic fluid, wire rope heats past critical failure, and a 180-foot boom collapses onto a neighboring building. In a city built on ambition, this is the nightmare no engineer wants to face. The documentary you're about to watch, Fire at 45 Stories, the 2023 NYC tower crane failure, doesn't just recount a disaster, it reveals the overlooked vulnerabilities inside every urban skyline. What chain of invisible risks led to this near catastrophe? And could it happen again? Smoke in the cab is never a good sign. Up on the 45th floor, the operator notices it first, thin, sharp, rising from the engine deck. He's mid-lift, 16 tons of concrete hanging from the hook, when the smell of burning oil cuts through the morning air. Seconds later, flames burst out from the compartment, fed by a spray of hydraulic fluid. In a tower crane like this, the hydraulic oil runs at high pressure through hoses tucked close to the engine and exhaust. The flash point for that fluid is about 200 to 240 degrees Celsius. Diesel exhaust can run hotter than 400. All it takes is one leak, one mist of oil striking a red-hot manifold, and the fire ignites instantly. The operator doesn't hesitate. He grabs the extinguisher, aims for the base of the flames, just as the manual says. But a pressurized fluid fire is nothing like a trash can blaze. The flames leap back, fueled by atomized oil. With seconds ticking by and the heat building fast, he radios the emergency, then climbs out. Every move matches emergency protocol. No heroics, just evacuation and alert. In the cramped machinery space, the fire has already begun to eat through cables and hoses. Compartment temperatures spike, creating a furnace around the hoist system. The steel wire rope, now exposed to direct flame, faces temperatures that can erase half its strength in minutes. The real danger isn't just the fire, it's what happens next as heat races through metal under load. 45 stories above 10th Avenue, the business end of the crane is packed into a steel-framed box known as the top works. Here, the engine compartment, operator cab, and all lifting machinery are clustered together. A compact, high-pressure ecosystem designed for heavy loads and tight city footprints. The engine deck is the heart of the system. It holds a diesel power pack, hydraulic pumps, and a reservoir that can store over 800 liters of oil. Hoses snake from the engine to the winches and slewing motors, carrying fluid under hundreds of bars of pressure. Most of these hoses run close to the engine and exhaust, where surface temperatures can exceed 400 degrees Celsius. The hoist system sits just feet away, built around a drum of high-carbon steel wire rope. Each rope is a bundle of wires, wound in tight strands around a steel core. This cable does the heavy lifting, literally raising and lowering loads up to 16 tons. Under normal conditions, the wire rope can handle extreme tension, but its one weakness is heat. Once exposed to temperatures above 300 degrees Celsius, the steel begins to lose strength rapidly. At 400 degrees, permanent damage sets in. By 600 degrees, the rope can lose more than half its rated capacity, even if it looks intact from the outside. Unlike some international models, U.S. cranes rarely come equipped with automatic fire suppression or thermal sensors on the engine deck. Compartment fires can go from spark to full involvement in under 2 minutes, with little to stop heat from reaching the hoist cable. In a crowded topworks, the proximity of hydraulic lines, hot engine parts, and the main lifting rope creates a perfect storm. A single leak or flash fire can compromise the entire system before anyone has time to react. Heat climbs fast inside a steel compartment. As the fire rages on the engine deck, temperatures around the hoist drum soar past 400 degrees Celsius. Metallurgical tests show that high-carbon steel wire rope, under these conditions, can lose more than half its strength in just a few minutes. The cable doesn't have to melt to fail, just soften enough for the live load to overwhelm it. Every strand in the rope is now under stress, holding 16 tons of concrete mid-air. According to safety engineers, once the rope's temperature crosses that critical threshold, the structure of the steel begins to change. The cable may look the same, but its ability to hold weight drops off a cliff. In the span of seconds, the hoist rope goes from safe to unpredictable. Under full load, the weakened cable starts to deform. Internal wires stretch, then snap. The load shifts. The drum can no longer control the boom's position. The boom swings out, pivoting on the slewing ring. With the rope failing, gravity takes over. The entire top section, nearly 180 feet of steel, arcs downward. It strikes the neighboring building at 555 10th Avenue, then collapses onto the street. Debris rains down, glass shatters, and the force of impact sends a shockwave through the block. For engineers, it's a textbook case of thermal compromise, where a fire turns a precision lifting machine into a falling wreck in less than 5 minutes. The first thing most people remember is the sound. A deep, concussive boom rolls through Hell's Kitchen, rattling windows for blocks. For residents in 555 10th Avenue, the shock hits twice. First the noise, then the tremor, as the crane's boom slams into the building. Shards of glass explode outward. Thousands of razor-edged fragments rain down onto the street. Pedestrians sprint for cover, ducking behind cars and scaffolding. One construction worker, just steps away from the impact, describes feeling the ground shift beneath his boots. "It sounded like a bomb went off," he says. "Then it was just glass everywhere." Inside Covenant House, alarms blare. Staff rush to evacuate over 100 young residents. The air outside is thick with dust and the smell of burning oil. Sirens echo from every direction as fire trucks and ambulances converge on the scene. By the time the streets clear, more than 120 people have been evacuated from neighboring buildings. Apartment dwellers, shelter residents, and a charter school teacher leading her class out through falling debris. In total, 11 people are treated for injuries. Most are minor, cuts, bruises, smoke inhalation, but the sheer scale of near misses is hard to process. On a different day, with heavier foot traffic, the outcome could have been far worse. The chaos on the street gives way to a tense, organized response. Emergency crews set up triage zones and cordon off the block. Even as the fire still burns high above, the priority is clear. Keep people away from the danger zone, account for everyone, and brace for whatever comes next. More than 200 firefighters and paramedics converge on 10th Avenue, lights flashing, sirens echoing off glass towers. The first priority is clear: contain the fire, keep the public safe, and prevent further collapse. FDNY Command deploys drones above the skyline, streaming live thermal images straight to chiefs on the ground. For the first time at this height in New York, aerial feeds guide hose teams to the engine deck and help spot unstable debris. Inside the command trailer, real-time video shows which sections of the boom are still burning, which facades are at risk, and where it's safe for crews to move in. On the street, triage zones take shape within minutes. Paramedics tag and treat the injured, 11 in total, including 3 firefighters and several pedestrians. Most walk away with minor cuts or smoke inhalation. No one is trapped. No one is killed. As soon as engineers confirm the towers are stable, teams sweep the area for secondary hazards. The block stays closed, but the worst is over. For officials, the combination of drone intelligence, rapid triage, and strict exclusion zones proves the value of every drill and protocol in the book. After every major crane disaster, the rules change. In 2008, a collapse on East 51st Street killed 7 and forced the city to overhaul inspection and operator training. The 2016 Worth Street accident, blamed on wind, brought new anemometer requirements and stricter limits for crane operation in bad weather. Now, the 2023 fires pushing the industry toward a new set of safeguards. The Department of Buildings issued a stop work order at 550 10th Avenue, launching a full investigation and calling in outside experts to review the entire crane fleet. Cleanup and facade repairs are expected to cost between $5 and $8 million, one of the most expensive single-site remediation efforts in recent memory. Safety engineers and construction academics are pressing for automatic fire suppression on engine decks, mandatory thermal sensors on hoist ropes, and new criteria for rope replacement after any fire exposure. Drafts for these reforms are circulating, but as of late 2023, no formal code amendments have been released. For now, every crane operator and site manager in New York is watching closely, knowing the next round of rules could change how high-rise construction is done for years to come. At 7:25 a.m. on July 26, 2023, a hydraulic fluid fire erupted atop a 45-story tower crane, leading to a partial collapse that injured at least 11 people and sent debris across 10th Avenue. Investigation confirmed that rapid heat exposure triggered wire rope failure, causing the 180-foot boom to strike a neighboring building. The FDNY's 5-alarm response, including early drone deployment, helped prevent fatalities and limited further damage. While official reports detail the ignition sequence and mechanical breakdown, the precise timeline of the collapse and some forensic data remain classified. No new citywide fire suppression mandates or inspection intervals have been formally enacted since the incident. For engineers and construction leaders, the 2023 crane fire stands as a clear case study in the consequences of overlooked thermal vulnerabilities and the importance of coordinated emergency response. The documented facts point to one lesson: in dense urban construction, rigorous prevention and real-time crisis management remain essential safeguards.